Hello students, today we are going to start our sixth lecture of nuclear physics module first. Okay, in the yesterday's lecture, means in lecture number 5, we saw that beta decay, why beta decay occurs, beta minus, beta plus decay and the energy spectrum of beta, and from that we see the origin of neutrino. Now, in today's lecture, we will going to study gamma decay or gamma rays. Okay, and decay scheme of cesium 137. Now, in order to achieve stability, heavy nuclei emits particle as well as energy. This energy is emitted in the form of gamma rays. Now, as we studied in our earliest lecture that why actually that decay is happening, that decay is happening due to achieve the only stability. Okay, and in that decay maybe particles are emitted or energies are emitted, and that energy is nothing but the gamma rays. Okay, that energy is having, or that rays having very high energy, and wavelength of these rays about 5 angstrom. As we know that E is equal to h nu or nu is equal to c by lambda, that's why E is equal to h c by lambda means wavelength and energy are inversely proportional to each other. That's why even wavelength is in angstrom, means 10 to the power minus 10 meter, but it is inversely proportional to E, that's why varying high energy. Now, second point is emission of gamma rays is analogous to emission of electromagnetic radiation from the excited nucleus. As everyone knows that when the atom comes from its excited state to its ground state, there is emission of photon. Okay, exactly similar to that we see here, or we can explain here that gamma rays is also analogous to emission of electromagnetic radiation. Now, these rays are having high penetration power. Now, point is that what is penetration power? Penetration power is nothing but the ability of that radiation to pass through the matter. Okay, and that gamma rays are not deflected by electric or magnetic field, as gamma rays is an energy emitted, that is not any particle. Means what? The gamma rays are not having any charge and mass, that's why they are not deflected by electric and magnetic field. Now, ionization power of these rays are very low as compared to alpha as well as beta. Now, what is ionization power? Ionization power is the power to destroy that matter. From that matter, that rays are comes out. Means what? As the ionization power of the gamma rays is low, okay, as compared to the alpha as well as beta particle. Now, see here in our next slide, we are going to comparative study of alpha, beta, gamma on the basis of nature, charge, mass, speed, ionizing effect, okay, and how they are when they are most dangerous. Now, our first point is that when there is an alpha particle, see, nature of that alpha particle is it's an helium nucleus with 2 proton and 2 neutron. It is an electron. Its beta is an electron, whereas gamma is an electromagnetic wave. Now, in the base of charge, alpha have plus 2 charge, whereas beta has minus 1 charge and gamma has 0 charge. On the base of mass, alpha has relatively large mass as it is contain 2 proton and 2 neutron. Obviously, alpha has large mass as compared to beta. Beta it just contains electron. Electron emission is there only, okay. That's why mass is very small. On the basis of speed, as alpha has very large mass as compared to beta and gamma, that's why it should have very small speed as compared to beta and gamma. As we know that E is equal to 1 half mv square. Okay, means velocity and mass is also inversely proportional to the each other. Means as mass is increases, speed is decreases. That's why here we can say that as alpha has relatively large mass, then its speed is slow. On the basis of ionizing effect, the alpha has strong ionizing effect, whereas beta have weak and whereas gamma has very weak. Now, what is ionizing effect? Is just the ability to destroy that matter. From that matter it's comes out. Okay. Now, when they are most dangerous, when alpha particle is inside our body, then it is an dangerous. When beta is also dangerous, when that source is outside the body. And for the gamma rays also same thing. When the gamma source is outside the body, it will most dangerous. Now see our next point. We will just see here the penetration power, or we are just going to study the penetration power of alpha, beta, neutron. See here in the first, here is our alpha nucleus. Okay, 2 proton and 2 neutron. For what happens, as the mass of the alpha is large, okay, due to of that the penetration power of that alpha is small as compared to beta. Okay, on beta and gamma. See here there is only paper. Okay, that alpha can penetrate, means alpha can penetrate up to paper only. Okay, but beta is see penetrate through that paper, that body, up to metal, but not from the metal. Okay, and what is neutron? Neutron can penetrate up to water, but not from that. Okay, but what is gamma? Gamma is penetrate from paper, body, metal, water, concrete, lead, up to lead. But to shield also gamma, means to not comes out gamma, there also we have the lead shield of in the some meters. Okay, then and then only gamma rays can be protected. Okay, otherwise it will comes out. Okay, now see here decay scheme of cesium 137. Okay, now see here we saw first that there is a 3 energy level. Okay, first one is our cesium 137, second one is this barium 56, and here is also barium 137 barium. Now see here 7 by 2 plus factor, here 11 by 2 minus factor, here is 3 by 2 plus factor. Now in this 7 by 2 factor is nothing but the spin of the cesium 137. This plus is nothing but the parity. Okay, same is here, 11 by 2 is the spin and minus is the parity. Same here, 3 by 2 is the 3 by 2 plus is 3 by 2 is spin and plus is a parity. Now how they are actually founding 7 by 2, 3 by 2? Okay, that will be study now in next lecture. Okay, now see here cesium 137 actually when we are feel that nucleus energy levels by using shell model, then we got this spin and parity. Okay, now see here cesium 137 energy level, and from that cesium 137 energy level, that it by emitting beta minus decay, it came to the barium excited state of barium, metastable excited state. What is actually metastable excited state? Metastable excited state is nothing but the excited state, but as compared to our ordinary excited state, these excited state have large lifetime. Okay, So that is called an metastable excited state. Now what happens when that it comes to the when that after beta decay it comes to the excited state of barium. And see here, cesium 137 is a radioactive isotope. Now first question is, what is isotope? Okay, now there are two main types of isotopes, stable isotope and unstable isotope. That unstable isotope is nothing but the artificial isotope which are lab made isotopes, and that isotopes is called as radioactive isotopes. Okay, now this our cesium 137 isotope is actually formed in the different nuclear fission reaction. As we saw that uranium 235 is also fissionable because it is unstable element. Okay, when there is a fission process, then there is a actually what is fission process? In that reaction, nucleus of an atom splits into two or more smaller nuclei. Means what? The our radioactive isotope cesium 137 is formed in that nuclear fission reaction. Okay, means it is a byproduct of that nuclear fission reaction. Okay, understand everyone? So that's why cesium 137 is a radioactive isotope with a half-life of 32 years. It decays via beta decay into barium 137. Of these decays, 94.6% lead to a metastable excited state of barium, which passes into the ground state with half-life of 156 seconds, whereby a gamma ray of 661.6 kilo electron volt is emitted. The remaining 5.4% lead is directly to the ground state of barium. The maximum energies of the emitted electrons are this. Means what? See here, when the cesium 137 radioactive isotopes decays via beta decay and it comes out to the barium 137, in that out of this cesium 137, if this is an out of this 94.6 cesium is decays to the excited state of barium, and only 5.6 is to the ground state of barium. And that beta decay in first one, that is cesium 137 to the excited state, that beta decay have energy 513.97 keV, meaning kilo electron eV. And in the second one, when cesium comes to its ground state, at that time it is having 1175.6 kV. Now see here what happened. Actually that meta excited state have an life. Meta excited state means have it as maximum lifespan than other excited state, and from this metastable excited state the photon is also came from here to its ground state. Okay, and in that it emits an photon of energy 661.7 keV. Okay, now see here, emission of 661.6 keV gamma ray not the only way metastable barium gives up its energy. Means what? When that photon from the when that photon is comes from that excited state of metastable excited state to the ground state, it emits an photon of energy 661.6 keV. Here this says that is not only energy that comes out, but what it can be, that energy can be transferred to an electron to the 1s shell of its atomic shell. Means what? See here, when that photon comes from this to this state, this is emitted. Okay, 0.661 mega electron volt is emitted. But this says that actually this is not only one, but that photon can came to the inner shell electron, which is 1s shell, and it can the photon which is comes from this state to the 1s shell, 1s atomic shell, and it's knock out that electron from that 1s shell. Means what? When that photon came from the metastable state to the 1s shell of atomic shells, that is, there is also an energy emission. Means first one is that we see that when photon is comes from these two ground state, there is emission of 0.6617 mega electron volt energy. Okay, but they said that actually this is not only way of giving energy, but there is also an process that photon can directly comes to the 1s shell of atom and knock out that electron. Okay, and that electron will have an energy 6 to 5.67 kV, and that is nothing but the difference between the excitation energy of barium and the electrons binding energy. Which electrons binding energy? 1s shell electrons binding energy. Means when that electron from 1s shell, actually k shell, actually understand everyone, that electron from an 1s shell means innermost shell, as we write the configuration of atom 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Okay, means 1s is nothing but the innermost shell of that atom, and that the photon which is comes from that is photon which is comes from the excited state of the barium, it comes out and it exactly goes to the 1s shell of the atom and knock out that electron. When that process is carried out, means what, that photon is comes from that excited state of barium and exactly knock that electron and came out. Okay, means when that electron is came out, when that photon knocks that electron have energy 6 to 5.67, and similarly that photon is also emitted. Understand? Now when that electron is knocked out from the 1s shell, there is a creation of hole in the 1s shell, and that hole is directly filled by the our next 1s shell, then 2s. Okay, then that 1s shell is directly filled with the higher shell. Means what, that hole is created in 1s shell due to the knocking out an electron, then that hole is again fulfilled by the its higher shell's electron. Okay, and when that higher shell's electrons comes to the 1s shell, there is also emission of an photon, and that emission is written as an characteristic. That emission is can be studied as characteristic X-ray radiation, and particularly K alpha line. Understand everyone? Means what, in this decay scheme we studied that first one is that cesium 137 is decay. Cesium 137 gives beta decay and comes to the excited state of barium. Okay, that is first one, and from this it can emit the energy. Okay, beta decay. Okay, and when that cesium 137 comes to that metastable excited state of barium, and from this it emits an photon of energy 661.6 kV and comes to the its ground state, means barium ground state. Similarly, actually that is not only way to give the energy, but there is can happen that the photon can comes from the excited metastable state, can knock the electron from 1s shell, and when that photon knocks the electron from that 1s shell, there is also emission of energy, and that electrons have an energy 62.567 keV, which is difference between that excitation energy of barium and electrons binding energy. And that hole created in 1s shell is again fulfilled by its higher shells, and there is again emission of that radiation, and which is we can study it as characteristic X-ray radiation, particularly K alpha line. Understand everyone? Now see here what is happening. As we see that 661.6 keV, this is monoenergetic gamma line, okay? And when that monoenergetic gamma line is interact with that 1s shell, okay, when that monoenergetic gamma line interacting with that 1s shell of electron, then we can say that there should be the Compton effect. Actually, what is Compton effect? Compton effect is nothing but when the photon is interact with the charged particle, mainly electron. When that photon is interact with the charged particle, then it result into its decrease in energy, means photon's energy is decreasing, means it nothing but the collision, okay, is called as Compton effect. Means what happened, because of that energy monoenergetic gamma, these isotopes is well suited for studying the Compton effect. Means actually that gamma monoenergetic gamma radiation or gamma photon interact with the electron of 1s shell, and 1s shell, and after interacting with the 1s shell electron, the energy of that photon is decreasing, and this is known as the Compton effect. Now see here in this diagram of energy spectrum of decay scheme of cesium-137, the first point is first peak, after that this is the plateau region, and after that this is again one peak. Now this is first peak is due to the K alpha line, okay, K alpha line, and second one is here backscattered. Now as we see here that Compton effect is there, means what, when that monoenergetic gamma photon is interact with the electron in 1s shell, then what happen, the energy of that photon is decreasing, okay, after the interaction. Then when that photon is interact with that electron and scatter, then there is a probability of that scattering to the exactly 180 degree also, okay, and that photon scattering through an 180 degree, exactly 180 degree, gives us backscattered peak, okay. Means what, when that photon is interact with that electron in 1s shell, there is a Compton effect is occur, and when that interact with the electron, some of the photons directly backscattered towards the detector, and after this region Compton effect is happening. That's why it is a plateau region of Compton effect, and this after this what happen, that energy is comes towards the detector, okay, and that is our energy spectrum. Means what, when we are studying the decay scheme of cesium-137, that study of decay scheme cesium-137 is not actually done in our open space. Actually there should be some detector, okay, in that we are studying that decay scheme. And see here, the Compton collision outside the detector leads to an energy losses. Means when there is Compton collision, in that Compton collision, the detector, when that Compton collision is happening, the photon's energy going on losing up to reaches to the detector, the energy of that photon is very much loses, okay. Means what, see here in the spectrum we saw that the alpha, K alpha peak, backscattered, Compton H, and total absorption. Understand everyone?